This is our second week of a new study in the adult education ministry of Grace United Methodist Church in Winfield, Kansas. I've entitled this series, Jesus, No Strings Attached. I've chosen to dig deeper into the life and teachings of Jesus because of our recent experiences and conversations about what in the world does it mean to follow Jesus in our journey of faith. Time and time again, the invitation to follow Jesus comes with some strings attached. It is my experience that many of these strings are understandings of faith which are anchored in the faith understandings of the Hebrew Bible, the Old Testament. Now, the clearest attempt to present Jesus with no strings attached, according to Luke, this narrative was a convincing case statement to the Gentiles, the non-Jewish community, that to follow Jesus did not require an understanding of faith held by the Hebrew community. Specifically, to follow Jesus did not require that one believe that Jesus was the long-anticipated Messiah. That to follow Jesus did not require an affirmation of any rabbinic teaching of the rabbis of old. Simply stated, to follow Jesus was an invitation to follow his teaching, which was revealed not only in the words he spoke, but in the way he lived and died. An agent and revelation of agape love. Now, let me be clear again. This journey is not to discount any other narrative of Jesus. Rather, it is to explore following Jesus without depending on any other source or any other narrative except for his teachings and his life. You see, I think this journey is to follow Jesus with no prerequisites required. This is what the Gospel according to Luke offered in 70 AD, and I believe this is a refreshing experience of faith. Jesus, with no strings attached, is a fresh look. Now, one of the images I have of this journey that I'm taking is the difference in going to a grocery store and shopping for fresh veggies and then for canned veggies. Now, a lot happens to a veggie, fresh, to be consumed as it was grown. And a veggie that has been cut, processed, and canned. It's my experience that that's what's happened to Jesus. I believe the life and teachings of Jesus have been cut up, processed, and canned. And these are the strings which have been attached, which we are exploring in this series. We're trying to look at a fresh Jesus rather than a Jesus that's been canned. Now, in this study, we're going to consider the stories of Jesus, which are included in Luke, but not found in Matthew or Mark. The best place to start is taking a look at the first parable of Jesus included in Luke's narrative. It's in chapter 5, the first time a reference to a parable is made. he told them a parable also. No one tears a piece from a new garment and puts it on the old garment. If he does, he will tear the new, and the piece from the new will not match the old. And no one puts new wine into old wineskins. If he does, the new wine will burst the skins, and it will be spilled, and the skins will be destroyed. New wine must be put in the new wineskins. Now, other narratives included the understanding that Jesus came not to destroy the law, but to fulfill the law. Luke's narrative emphasized and is written for those who had no knowledge of the law. The law was not a string attached to following Jesus. And this first parable in Luke is an introduction to the story of Jesus healing on the Sabbath. That's Luke 6, right after Luke 5. The religious leaders of the day took on Jesus and were critical of Jesus because of the many rules and regulations in the Hebrew faith understanding of what was legal and illegal to do on the Sabbath day. They were all based on one of the 10 Commandments. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. And Jesus said, no, I'm not going to be bound. I'm something new. No strings attached. Not even the 10 Commandments. Now think of that. See, that's what Luke includes. No strings attached, not even the 10 Commandments. And this is so relevant today for how often in the presentation of Jesus there are strings attached. Jesus was put into the can of the 10 Commandments, the law. How fresh it is in Luke. Jesus, with no strings attached. Not even the 10 Commandments. You see, the difference between following the, quote, canned Jesus and the, quote, fresh Jesus is immediately so clear. For Jesus did not invite persons to follow him as those that were obedient to the law, the rules, the regulation, all the strings. Jesus invited persons to follow him, not to be obedient, but with a commitment in every situation to live the way of agape love. See the difference between the old wine and the new wine? The old wine, obedience to the 10 Commandments of the law. The new wine, being committed to love. Wow, you see, there's a difference between being obedient to the law and being committed to agape love. Yeah, the difference in this day and age, friends, is whether we follow a cut-up, processed, and canned Jesus or a fresh Jesus in whose life and teaching the divine gift of divine love was revealed. The difference is whether or not we are obedient to the law or committed to serving others. You see, Jesus revealed in his life and teachings that we're called to live for and serve others in agape love, liberated from the strings of the law, was the life to which one is committed when one says yes to Jesus' invitation to follow me. New wine in new wineskins is Jesus with no strings attached, not cut up, processed, and canned, but fresh with the gift of love. Well, there's something there. And for your thought and conversation, what are your experiences of the life and teachings of Jesus being cut up, processed, and canned? What are your personal experiences and observations of Jesus being proclaimed with the string of the Ten Commandments attached? What are your personal experiences and observations of the fresh Jesus, the new wine, bursting old wineskins? Thank you for being a part of this journey together.